running on the Strip, the lights, the energy, the people.
Vegas took the rock and roll concept and then elevated it.
The smoke, the thousands of people, the Bellagio fountains going off.
If you run Boston or New York or Chicago or LA, you've got to run Rock and Roll Vegas.
Kid Rock, Macklemore. We just started the race with Snoop Dogg.
Describe Rock and Roll Las Vegas in 3 words: Strip at night.
Rock and Roll acquired the Las Vegas races in 2009 and welcomed everyone to the new marquee event of its music-infused running series and began transforming it into the biggest running party of all time.
Rock and roll really pioneered this kind of concept of putting bands on the course. And I think in doing that, it also brought out this new recreational runner. And then I think rock and roll really created this world of people that just wanted to come out and run for fun.
Truly, the cross-section of America is represented at our rock and roll races because it is so inclusive. Sign up, go at their own pace, and they could achieve something that someone else did, and it didn't matter what their time or their distance was. They got a medal, they achieved something, and then they built on it.
When we initially purchased that race in 2009, it was a morning race, and we thought this would be great. People were so excited to do that race. Vegas is super iconic. I mean, that's the ultimate runcation, right? Like, that's where you go to really have a good time and definitely bring your friends.
The story is, there was a recap meeting in January after our 2010 race. I said, well, I know these marathons are run in the morning. It's a 6 a.m. race on a Sunday morning. That does not work in Las Vegas. There's nothing rocking and rolling in Las Vegas at 6 a.m. We got to have the lights on. I want to see the Bellagio fountains. I want to see the Mirage volcanoes going off. When I go down to Fremont Street, I want to see Viva Vision and the lights. So I said, let's move this to a night race.
Well, from day one, it was treated like the Super Bowl of the Rock and Roll series. Right off the bat, we said we have to do things bigger and better than any other rock and roll event. Because now we're not talking about shutting down Las Vegas Boulevard at 7 in the morning. We're talking about shutting it 4 p.m. until midnight on one of the busiest roads in the world. Now we're like, okay, now we have a whole new event to present. And that's when we introduced the whole Strip at Night message.
We had developed this Strip at Night concept. The demand was crazy. You know, we had 45,000 people in the door. The year prior, it was 25,000 people in the morning. You know, so this concept of running the Strip at night was completely new.
Runners were having an incredible experience running up and down the Strip under the bright lights. Everything was going perfectly until about the 3-hour mark at the finish line, which at the time was in one of the casino parking lots. I could see that the finish area was filling up with runners and there was no room to exit. Runners were stopped right in the finish chute and it was super frustrating. It was cold, so many of the runners were trying to get into the Mirage at the same time, a show was letting out. It was a total backup, an absolute mess, and we definitely heard it from the unhappy runners.
We had to look at everything operationally, what worked, what didn't work, and then come back in 2012 stronger, but with a really important message that we could acknowledge the issues and that we were going to course correct.
Sometimes when things don't work perfectly, it forces you to do things that you wouldn't have thought of doing previously. We go back to the city and say, we need to move the finish line to be on the Strip right in front of the Mirage, dead center of Las Vegas Boulevard, rather than in the parking lot of Mandalay Bay, because we need more room for the size of the event it's going to be. And now we have a finish line right in front of the Mirage with the volcano, and again, it just raised the experience again to another level.
So we added a 5K to the races, and that way people could shake out the night before their run that was going to happen the next day. And we called it a remix challenge. Run 2 times, get 3 medals, all of the fun that comes along with getting the extra bling.
When Las Vegas shifted from day to night, there was no going back. Absolutely bar none, that was a game changer.
What we did know is that this works. People want to be on the strip, they want to be running at night.
On October 1st, 2017, at the Route 91 Harvest Country Music Festival, a horrific act of terror overcame Las Vegas. A lone gunman indiscriminately fired shots from the window of a hotel room. The world was horrified and saddened, and the local community was devastated.
All right, just stay here.
But out of that darkness arose the light and love of Vegas Strong.
So Route 91 is pretty personal to me. Obviously I was there, survivor of it. It's personal to me because my husband worked at the venue at the time, and I don't like to let that incident define Vegas, because I think what we saw in the aftermath of the shooting was really what Vegas is all about. Our event was the first major event to come back in the city. It was 6 weeks of really hard work, a lot of emotions surrounding it. The team had to find a new start venue, had to kind of reconfigure the course, had to work really closely with the police and city, and again, they had to work with a team that had just been through something unimaginable.
Absolutely horrific event, but I'll tell you, our community came together and it brought us Vegas Strong.
Yo, what's up, Las Vegas? This is TJ11. I just wanted to send a special thank you to every person who is running in the Rock and Roll Marathon this weekend.
Hey guys, Braden McNabb with your Vegas Golden Knights.
Our goal was to come out here and really try to respect what the city wanted, and what they wanted was for people to know that they were strong and they were resilient, and that live events would exist again. And we were really the first to help them get there. We were always a strong community before, but to see how the community rallied after that was pretty remarkable.
Once the Raiders came to Vegas, a lot of weekends in the fall were going to be dominated by NFL football games. So our team worked with the city and determined that the last weekend in February would be the ideal time to host the event.
Vegas is the type of city that's constantly having to reinvent itself. And what I see Vegas as now is it's the ultimate city where you can get everything, but it's really kind of morphed into the #1 city for professional sports.
Looking at their calendar and understanding what works for Las Vegas, we pinpointed a new date out of November and into February. That would be our weekend, and it would not have to move around.
It always comes up, people want to ask me, hey, what's your favorite event? What's the one you personally enjoy? And my answer is it's the Las Vegas Rock and Roll Running Series. It's the largest nighttime running event in the world.
I've run a lot of races around the world. This race is definitely one of the most fun, and it's because of the people, it's the costumes. It's people from all over the world because they want to experience running down the boulevard in Vegas.
The Rock and Roll Running Series has really evolved running into these modern times in the 21st century. Runners participate in these for a lot of the same reasons they did then, to run fast, to run for fitness, but also just to have fun and engage in community.
Our goal every year is to create new experiences and to ensure that Rock and Roll Las Vegas is always a step ahead and is really pioneering what modern running events look like. So it used to be what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Now it's what happens in Vegas only happens in Vegas. And Rock and Roll Las Vegas is a perfect example of that.